Alright, so maintenance is over for JP, and we have the data download for this week. This will be a mostly World Tournament-centric week for JP Dokkan, and we have some EZAs here. We have the EZAs for the STR GT Super Saiyan Goku, AGL Beerus, TEQ Super Saiyan GT Vegeta, TEQ Demon King Piccolo Young, and this Future Gohan. We do have some translations here. It's also on the dokkan.wiki, but I wanted to give credit to Minato and look at his translations on his thread first. So first we have this Future Gohan. One important thing is that Hybrid Saiyans is in a really bad place, so it'd be really nice if this guy was good, but I've already read his details. Not quite how a hybrid is needed. So obviously leader skill doesn't matter. 12 key, raises attack. He stacks attack, I believe this what this is. I'm uncertain. And then he raises defense for 1 turn. This is a 30% buff. Decent. It's just kind of standard. Attack and defense was 120%. Attack and defense was 100% when forming a super attack. Plus an additional key plus 2. Attack and defense was 80%. And high chance to stun when facing an android's category enemy. You are never going to get this. This is not something you get in basically any hard fight ever. Alright, so next he gets 2 key, a medium chance to form a crit, and additional 30% defense of forming a super attack when there is a Future Saga ally Trunks. This you can get. There's not really a lot of good Trunkses, but it wouldn't be hard in the future, I assume, for them to release a Future Trunks so you can get all this stuff with. Links are all in the family: Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Perfect Battle, Experienced Fighters, Dismal Future, Shattering Limit. Now, I believe Minato also posted some defense calcs for this guy. And I was wrong. No worries about it. This guy, with all of his buffs up, I remember is sitting at around 470k defense, but you're not going to get that often much at all. This guy is usually sitting at like 270 or something like that. He's very not good, which is unfortunate because Hybrids has been in a bad spot for quite a while now, so the most recent buff being this L of a unit is sad. But I mean, I can't even really give a positive. He's just not really that great. Maybe you pull him, maybe you want to do some funny stuff with him, and I don't know, Android's Infinite Dragon Ball history. He'll look good there, I guess. Okay, AGL Beerus. Now, we did get the EZA for LR Beerus and Whis a couple of months ago, and if this unit could work well with LR Beerus and Whis, that would be a nice little rotation. Unfortunately, he does not work that well with LR Beerus and Whis, but unlike Future Gohan, he is not a complete L. He raises defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and lowers defense. Yes, he has 30% raise, that means his super attack effect is fine. He starts with 120% attack and defense, and then gets an extra 120% on super attack. That'll be multiplicative to his start of turn attack and defense. And then he has these like hit restrictions. He gets an additional 60% attack starting from the next turn after receiving 2 or more attacks. And then after receiving 4 more attacks, he gets a guaranteed additional that's a high chance to be a super. So this guy could triple super. And then, when you have a full Exploding Rage category rotation, as in both your units with the Beerus are on Exploding Rage, he will guard against all attacks. Now, guard is definitely, like, when you see that, your eyes pop. You're like, oh, this is a good unit. Unfortunately, Beerus is one of those units where it's just guard and kind of nothing else. Post-super, he's sitting at around 310, 312k defense. Pre-super, he's looking more like 100k. So this guy is not like in the physical Sin fight, he is not looking good. In other fights, he's fine, but Exploding Rage isn't a category that he has a 200% on right now. So this guy's not really all that exceptional. You can still get away with him, but there's probably better options on Exploding Rage than he is. And also because it's Exploding Rage, that means he doesn't work with LR Beerus and Whis. So that's their one buff for the next however many months until they decide to either release a new Beerus or EZA physical Dokkan Best Beerus. Now here's the bright spot. I am the TEQ Pan fan, so this unit, who activates Pan's unit super attack, activates her active skill. If this GT Goku is great, then Pan is cooking. And for a free-to-play unit, I would say they did pretty well. So obviously he has 30% defense. He also raises all allies' attacks by 30%. This is a fine effect if this is a slot 1 character, which this unit can kind of fulfill, but you're not really going to do it all that often. So he starts with attack and defense while it's 150%, and then he gets another 100% attack and defense for 5 turns from first appearance. It is important to note that all of these units are World Tournament units, so their stats are very low. Like this Gohan's defense, for example, is like 7k or something. It's very bad. This Goku is an easy A, so he's a little bit higher, but his stats are still low. So like when you see these numbers, they're really good on a Dokkan Fest, but on a free-to-play unit, they're just alright. So on Super Attack, he gets another 50% attack and defense. That's pretty good. And then here's what makes him special. He has a medium chance to evade enemy attacks. And then he also has 3 ki and another 30% chance to evade enemy attacks when there's a Space Traveling Warriors category ally in the same turn. Now, who do you think... not him. Who do you think is going to fulfill that for this Goku? Who is going to fulfill that condition for this Goku? Yeah, it's Pan. This Goku is definitely meant to be ran with Pan on her team. And that's definitely gives her a good option for her team. Because she already has GT Duo on GT Heroes. That's a good rotation for Pan there, but she needed something for her own team, which this Goku does fulfill. Goku also gets an additional 20% attack and chance to form a critical hit with each attack evaded. He should build this up pretty quickly, but if he's in slot 2 and there's not really a lot of attacks there, you might not be able to build this up for a while. Link set, Golden Warrior, Saiyan Lineage, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, GT, Prepare for Battle, Shattering Limit. His links obviously didn't change, this is an easy A, not an Awakening. But as far as linking up with Pan, he does have Saiyan Lineage. I think Pan has Kamehameha, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, she does. And then he also gives her GT. So they're linking decently well together. Unfortunately, he's not giving her all in the family, but the rotation's still very good for her team. Now that's the high point of this. I will say this Goku is sitting at like somewhere between 300 to 400k for the first 5 turns with this buff up. But after that, his defense does go down quite a bit. So keep in mind that that is the best unit in this batch. So that tells you a little bit about the quality of character here. Next is this TEQ Super Saiyan Vegeta. Now I will say, like, GT Heroes is not a very good team. So this Goku plus this Vegeta, if they're both great, GT Heroes would take a massive leap. Unfortunately, I don't think this Vegeta really lives up to what Goku is doing. He does have one of those interesting SA effects where he raises his defense for multiple turns. It's 30% for 6 turns. So he can get, I think, a maximum of 4 of these active at once. Unfortunately, you're not really going to see that often because he doesn't have any additionals built in. But we'll get to that, obviously. So he starts with 120% attack and defense, and then he gets another 60% attack and defense forming a super attack. Decent start. He guards all attacks for 1 turn. This is alright, because obviously he wants to build up with this defense raise, but 1 turn? That's not really all that exceptional. He gets 80% defense and a high chance to guard as the first attacker in a turn. Now keep in mind, I did just say that he gets attack and defense plus 60% forming a super attack. He wants to be in slot 1 to get his guard, but he also wants the super first. You can see the contradiction there. He gets an additional 40% attack as a second or third attacker in a turn. So already they're telling you, you can put him in this slot for the guard, or you can put him in this slot for the attack raise. And then he also gets an additional 80% attack and defense on super, and medium chance to crit when there's a Shadow Dragon Saga category ally. Now, the best unit on GT Heroes is a Shadow Dragon Saga category ally. Pan isn't... I guess... No, I think Pan's the only one on GT Heroes who isn't on Shadow Dragon Saga. To my knowledge, that's even that great on the team. Oh, B-Pan, I guess, if you want to run her. But yeah, that's it. This Vegeta, pre-super, is looking like 255k with 2 stacks of this defense raise, which is what you're mostly going to see since you're counting on hidden potential buffs with getting anything higher than that. That's not good for a slot 1 unit. And in slot 2, he basically sucks defensively. So, this unit's not good. he's not the worst unit in the batch, which is saying something, but he's just not someone you're really going to run. Link set, Golden Warrior, Saiyan Lineage, Royal Lineage, GT, Super Saiyan, Fair Battle Shen Limit. Good Link set, but unfortunately not living up to anything really. Lastly, we do have this TEQ Demon King Piccolo. Now, we did just get Majunior. This Demon King Piccolo would be a really nice buff for Majunior if he was good. And I wouldn't say he's the worst, but for the hardest fight in the game, being Physical Sin, he's not really great for that fight, but he's alright everywhere else. So he greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes supreme damage with a medium chance to stun. No defense on super attack. This, because I think this is the biggest issue for this unit. So obviously he has this support. This is what he had already. Key 3 and attack and defense was 30%. And when all allies attacking in the same turns are extreme class allies, he has a medium chance to guard, and he gives extra attack and defense. Medium chance to guard is worthless. Like, you can't really count on that to save you at all when you're doing a difficult content run. The extra support is nice. That pushes him up to 40% attack and defense. And now here's where the crux of his passive is. He gets attack and defense plus 40% for each extreme class ally on the team. With the entire team being extreme class, this is a 280% attack and defense buff. Very good, but keep in mind, again, this is a free-to-play unit, so these big numbers, they don't mean all that much in the grand scheme of things. Now, he also gets additional defense plus 100%, and he lowers enemies' attack when performing a super attack. With this, plus a 280% start of turn defense, this Piccolo is looking at like 450k defense with Thirst for Conquest active. That's good everywhere outside of Sin, I would say. In Tech Cell Max, he would take a lot of damage as well, but he's a very usable, I would say, free-to-play unit. I wouldn't say I'd go out of my way to use him a lot of times, but if you want to have the funny support on the rotation, you can definitely get away with this Demon King Piccolo. So that's it when it comes to just the units released in this celebration. Obviously, we do have World Tournament that's coming up. I don't know if it's dropped tonight. It might be dropping in a couple of days. We did have this Cyberman event, and from what I've seen, I don't play JP, but it's just like one of those like AOE events, like the Bardock event from Worldwide, the Pod Freeze event we got a couple of years ago. This event's not really a difficult event. It's just you use AoE units, you blow away the field, that's about it. You do get some nice skill orbs for Pure Saiyans, so if you want to get those and put those on your Pure Saiyan units, feel free to go on this event. They do give you a special friend leader. You can use Raditz. Raditz will destroy the event, I promise you. We did get a Super Battle Road stage, so now we have access to this Vegeta family support memory. I'm someone who mostly does no-item runs, so this means nothing to me, really, but if you don't care about no-item runs, this Vegeta family support memory will be good if you're using like Lord Vegeta and Trunks, or the Tech Raid Vegeta, or those units of that nature, the Vegeta family units. I think that's it for the most part. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to talk about. There is these new icons that are in that event. They're in the missions. Unfortunately, we did think that they were equipment at first. They are not. They're just indicating boss abilities. So I think it's said here that, yeah, it's for like missions. Like if you crit an X amount of times or guard an X amount of times, that's what these icons are showing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not going to be much else for the rest of this week. The next information we get from Dokkan should be the Tanabata unit. Probably the 27th, I would say, is when we're going to get a teaser, Twitter reveal maybe for the Tanabata unit. And that's it. Global's not getting anything until the 30th, so it's going to be pretty quiet outside the World Tournament. Have fun with the World Tournament if that's something you're into. I'll check back in when Tanabata comes. Obviously, hopefully it'll be very hype. I would personally like it to be a Hybrid Saiyan buff, probably, since Hybrid Saiyans, as we can see with this future Gohan, kind of in the mud right now. So, would love to see some buffs for that. And I'll catch you guys next time.